Welcome back to Champions Tennis. If you have been following the world of professional sports, you know that money talks. But what we are discussing today goes far beyond standard sponsorship deals or tournament prize money. We are talking about a collision of two distinct universes: the glittering, gold-plated, limitless world of Dubai's ultra-elite and the grit, sweat, and grind of a rising tennis superstar from the Philippines. By now, you have likely seen the headlines. You have seen the rumors swirling on Twitter and Instagram. But today, we are going deeper than the clickbait. We are uncovering the full, unvarnished story behind the most explosive birthday invitation in the history of tennis. We are talking about private Gulfstream jets, 7-star hotels, a check with more zeros than most people see in a lifetime, and a single speech so powerful, so raw, and so authentic that it brought one of the world's most hardened billionaires to his knees, sobbing in front of the global elite. The question everyone is asking is simple. What does it cost to make a billionaire cry? The financial answer is $5 million. But the real answer? The answer that has the sports world buzzing? That cost is priceless. We are breaking down the timeline, the luxury, the tennis implications, and the emotional climax of Eala's secret trip to Dubai. This is the story of how the Philippines' golden girl exposed the heart behind the hedge fund. Buckle up, because the tea we are spilling today is piping hot. Let's begin the deep dive. To truly understand the magnitude of this event, we have to set the stage. We need to talk about the man who made this happen, Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum. Now, when we say wealthy, we need to adjust our definitions. We are not talking about a celebrity with a few million in the bank or a tech CEO with unliquidated stock options. We are talking about oil money. We are talking about generational dynastic wealth that builds cities, moves global markets, and reshapes skylines. Sources tell us his car collection alone could fund a small nation's economy. We are speaking of vehicles that have never touched public asphalt, Bugattis and Ferraris that sit in climate-controlled garages like museum pieces. His yachts make the vessels you see docked in Monaco look like fishing boats. This is a man who reportedly has a private zoo. When you have access to everything that can be bought and sold on this planet, desire becomes a very complicated thing. What do you give a man who has everything? For Sheikh Ahmed, the answer is surprisingly pure: tennis. According to sources deep within his inner circle, the Sheikh is not just a casual fan who tunes in for the Wimbledon final while sipping champagne. He is a student of the game. For the past 3 years, he has been reportedly obsessed with the career trajectory of one specific player, Alexander Eala. He has watched every match. Whether it was a grueling qualifying round at a small ITF tournament in Europe or her breakthrough moments on the main tour, he was watching. He didn't just watch. He analyzed. He celebrated. When Eala was grinding through 3-set battles in the Australian Open qualifiers earlier this year, pushing her body to the absolute limit, the Sheikh was glued to the screen. When she finally broke into the top 50 in the world rankings, becoming the first Filipino player in history to reach that milestone, he reportedly threw a private celebration at his palace. We are talking about champagne towers and fireworks, celebrating a young woman he had never met, simply because he respected what she represented. He respected the underdog. He respected the fighter. He respected the champion who came from nothing and refused to quit. This admiration remained distant until recently. As Sheikh Ahmed's 50th birthday approached, he decided it was time to bridge the gap between fan and idol. The invitation that landed on Eala's management desk in Manila wasn't email. It wasn't a phone call. It arrived via a personal representative of the Sheikh, dressed in traditional Emirati formal wear, carrying a leather portfolio embossed with gold. Inside was what insiders are now calling the special package. When the financial details were revealed, jaws hit the floor. $5 million. Let's pause and contextualize that number. This was not for a multi-year brand ambassadorship. This was not for a logo on her kit. This was for a 2-hour appearance at a birthday party. If you break that down mathematically, that is roughly $41,000 per minute. It is the kind of money that most professional tennis players do not earn in an entire year of grueling travel and competition. And the job description? Seemingly effortless. Show up, smile for photos, help cut a birthday cake, go home. But the cash was just a headline. The experience attached to the invitation was where the true extravagance lay. The sheik didn't just offer a paycheck. He offered a glimpse into a lifestyle that is usually hidden behind high walls and security details. First, the transportation. The package included a private Gulfstream G650, widely considered the gold standard of private aviation, dispatched specifically to the Philippines to collect Eala and her team. This isn't your standard business class. We are talking about an aircraft with full bedroom suites, gold-trimmed fixtures, and a full-service chef preparing gourmet meals at 40,000 feet. The 9-hour flight from Manila to Dubai was designed to be a sanctuary of luxury. Upon landing in Dubai, the opulence escalated. The package included a full 7-day stay at the Burj Al Arab. For those unfamiliar, this is a hotel often cited as the only 7-star hotel in the world. It sits on its own artificial island. It is a place where royalty stays. Eala wasn't just given a room. She was given the royal penthouse suite. This suite spans 2 floors. It includes a private cinema, a rotating bed with panoramic views of the Arabian Gulf, and a private butler service available 24 hours a day. The bathrooms feature gold-plated fixtures and marble imported from Italy. The nightly rate for this suite is approximately $24,000. Eala had it for a week. She could order room service that cost more than most people's rent and enjoy spa treatments using products infused with actual gold. IT was a setup designed to overwhelm. It was a display of power and generosity that would intimidate almost anyone. The birthday party itself was held in a private ballroom transformed into a fantasy world. Witnesses describe a space dripping with Swarovski crystals, rare orchids flown in from Southeast Asia, and lighting designed by production teams that work on major Hollywood films. The guest list was a directory of global power, Al Maktoum family members, oil magnates, tech billionaires, European aristocracy. And in the center of it all stood 20-year-old Alex Eala from Quezon City. The request was deceptively simple. Stand beside the sheik as guests arrived. Pose for photographs. Help cut the 3-tiered $50,000 cake decorated with edible gold leaf and a tennis court motif. For 99% of people, this is the easiest money of their lives. You smile, you wave, you take the check, and you retreat to your penthouse. But here is where the story shifts. Here is where we move from a story about wealth to a story about humanity. After the photos were taken and the cake was cut, the music faded. The ballroom, buzzing with the chatter of billionaires, fell silent. Alex Eala was handed a microphone. Most athletes in this position would offer a generic script. Happy birthday. Thank you for having me. This is a beautiful party. Safe, polite, forgettable. But Alex Eala, who has spent years training at the Rafa Nadal Academy, who moved away from her family as a teenager to chase a dream, who has fought through injuries and doubts, does not do generic. She speaks from the soul. According to multiple witnesses in that ballroom, Eala began by thanking the sheik not for the luxury, but for his belief. She spoke about what it means to be a champion, not just on the court, but in life. She talked about the responsibility of power and influence. She spoke about the lonely hours on practice courts, the moments where injuries threatened to end her career, and the times she wanted to quit, but didn't because she knew people believed in her. She spoke about the young girls in the Philippines who look at her and see proof that dreams aren't just for the privileged. And then she looked directly at Sheikh Ahmed. She told him that true champions aren't defined by their trophies or their bank accounts. They're defined by their hearts, by their willingness to support others. She thanked him for being that kind of champion, for using his resources to support an athlete who is still fighting her way up, rather than just collecting autographs from those who have already made it. She told him that his support, even from afar, had carried her through her darkest moments of the year. The room was dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. And then the unexpected happened. Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum, a stoic oil tycoon known for his iron will and emotionless business negotiations, started crying. We aren't talking about a single polite tear. We're talking about full, uncontrolled sobbing, shoulders shaking, hands covering his face. He was completely overwhelmed by the authenticity of the moment. Here was a man who could buy anything on the planet, yet he had just been given the one thing money cannot purchase: genuine, raw gratitude from someone he admired. The room erupted, not with polite golf claps, but with a standing ovation that lasted several minutes. Guests were on their feet, wiping away their own tears. In that moment, Eala had reminded a room full of the world's most powerful people that underneath the wealth and the titles, we are all just humans looking for connection and meaning. The photos that have since leaked show the Sheik embracing Eala, whispering, "Thank you," over and over again. It showed a side of the elite that the world rarely sees, vulnerable and deeply human. Now, the cynics out there might ask, why Eala? Why spend $5 million on a player who, while talented, isn't Serena Williams or Maria Sharapova? To understand this, you have to look at the year Alex Eala has had in 2025. This invitation didn't happen in a vacuum. It happened because Eala is having the kind of breakthrough season that transforms athletes into icons. Just weeks before this Dubai trip, Eala wrapped up a historic campaign at the Southeast Asian Games in Bangkok. She didn't just compete, she dominated. She captured the women's singles gold medal, ending a 26-year drought for the Philippines. The last time a Filipina stood on that podium was 1999. An entire generation had passed. Eala brought it home, destroying the home crowd favored in straight sets, 6-1, 6-2. But the SEA Games were just a start. Her run at the Miami Open earlier this year sent shockwaves through the tennis world. Entering as a wild card, she took down former world number 1 IGA Swiatek in a 3-set thriller. She defeated Madison Keys in straight sets. She reached the semifinals. Add to that her first WTA 125 title in Guadalajara and her finals appearance at Eastbourne. Alex Eala is no longer a prospect. She is a contender. For a visionary like Sheikh Ahmed, investing in Eala is about aligning himself with the future. He sees a future Grand Slam champion. He isn't throwing money at a legacy that is already written. He is betting on potential, hunger, and the kind of fighter mentality that cannot be bought. This story also highlights a massive trend in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are pouring billions into tennis, trying to position themselves as the new frontier of the sport. But usually that investment is corporate, sponsorships, tournaments, facilities. This was personal. This signals that Eala has transcended the category of athlete and entered the realm of global icon. She is becoming a name that resonates in luxury markets and boardrooms. The Eala effect is already spreading across social media. When news of the $5 million package leaked, the internet exploded. Some called it the ultimate simp move, but that is a shallow reading. Others saw it for what it was, a massive validation of women's sports. One viral tweet read, "The Sheik crying at her speech proves that Alex Eala is humble even when she is dripping in luxury. That is exactly why we love her." What does this mean for her future? The doors that have just opened are massive. We are looking at potential endorsements with luxury airlines, high-end watchmakers, and global fashion brands. Her marketability has skyrocketed. But perhaps the most impressive part of this story is what happened after the party. Reports indicate that Eala was back on the practice court within days of returning from Dubai. The glitz of the Burj Al Arab is nice, but it is not why she plays tennis. Her eyes remain locked on the prize, a Grand Slam title. She has stated publicly that her goal for the upcoming season is a deep run at the Australian Open. There's also speculation about the future relationship between Eala and Sheikh Ahmed. Will he become a fixture in her player box? Will he fund a tennis academy in the Philippines? Insiders suggest he is considering exactly that, a legacy project to develop the next generation of Filipino talent, with Eala as the face. If that happens, this birthday party might be remembered not as a moment of excess, but as a catalyst that changed Philippine tennis forever. In a world that often feels transactional and superficial, this story reminds us that sincerity still matters. Authenticity still cuts through. Alex Eala went into the lion's den of luxury and didn't lose herself. She brought her heart, her history, and her humanity, and she used it to touch the soul of a man who had seen it all. So, I turn this over to you. Was $5 million too much for a 2-hour appearance, or does Alex Eala deserve every penny for the inspiration she provides? What do you think she said in that speech to break down a billionaire? And do you think we will see the Sheik courtside at the Australian Open? Drop your theories and reactions in the comments below. We want to hear from you. This is the kind of story that defines a career, and we will be here to cover every step of Eala's journey. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the most extravagant invitation in sports history, please hit that like button, share this video with every tennis fan you know, and make sure you are subscribed to Champions Tennis with the notification bell turned on, because we have some explosive Australian Open intel coming your way in the next video that you absolutely cannot miss. Thank you for watching. Stay hungry, stay humble, and keep fighting for your dreams. We will see you in the next one.